What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Zero Lab. Today we're taking a look at another Pokemon TCG Pocket deck, and today we're taking a look at the new Clodsire EX from the Shining Revelry set. Clodsire EX has 160 HP, is a dark type, and for 2 dark energy it has the Venoshock attack, where it does 60 damage plus 60 more damage if your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned. So today we're going to try to pair this with the Weezing from Genetic Apex with the Gas Leak ability that says once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may make your opponent's active Pokemon poisoned. Combining those two cards, we're playing a 2-2 Weezing line, a 2-2 Clodsire line, and then we do have one Darkrai EX in here. Dark Prism attack is just a strong attack in general, but having some of that additional damage output from the Nightmare Aura ability can help us in certain situations, so just nice to have that in the deck as well. 2 XPs, 2 Pokeballs, 1 Giant Cape, 2 Research, 1 Sabrina, 1 Iono. And then we've got 2 Kogas in here. Koga can just scoop up our Weezing from the active spot so we can Gas Leak, poison our opponent's active, pick up that Weezing with the Koga, and then just attack with the Clodsire EX. So I think this deck could be pretty strong. I haven't played too many games with it yet, but we're going to jump into the ranked ladder here, see how we can do with the Clodsire EX Weezing deck. If you're enjoying the content here at the Zero Lab, don't forget to leave a like on this video. Comment down below what you think of the Shining Revelry meta in TCG Pocket, and then hit that subscribe button as it does help grow the channel. Looks like we're starting with the Paldean Wooper here. We're going first. Got a handful of Pokemon, not necessarily what you love to see all the time, but that's going to be fine. Looks like we are going up against the Darkrai, Giratina, Druddigon deck. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. We don't necessarily have to attack into their Druddigon if we don't want to, because we could just do damage with Poison and Darkrai EX to knock that out. Unfortunately, they did get to go first here, so they're getting that damage down onto our Wooper. And a Research here from them. Our starting hand was certainly way worse than our opponent's, which is unfortunate. Giant Cape coming down onto the Darkrai EX, and then we'll see that Broken Space Bellow as well. Wow, their hand was just incredible. Everything they needed to set up. That's just crazy. All right, hopefully we can draw into something good off this top deck. That is a Koga. That's not going to do us any good right now. I guess we're just attaching to the Clodsire and passing here. Yeah, our opening hand did not allow for us to do anything cool. Their opening hand allowed them to do everything they could possibly want to do on their opening turn. So this might just be a loss from that standpoint. No coming back when your opponent draws that hot, most likely. I think we are in trouble this game. There's a second Darkrai EX coming into play. I guess we can Sabrina here. Doesn't really do much for us. Or at least we're not attacking into the Druddigon. They should have this Darkrai, which is interesting. I would have thought they would have sent up the other Darkrai that they could retreat out of. Because we do knock out this Darkrai with attach to Darkrai EX and then another Clodsire attack. So maybe they already have the Leaf in hand to just retreat this Darkrai EX. They do. All right, we're scooping this one. I don't think there's anyone in this game. All right, we're going to go into game 2, see if we can draw a little bit better. Obviously, no Pokeballs, no Research in like the top, 9 cards of our deck is tough. It's definitely tough to win, especially when your opponent draws everything they want to see. That's just the name of the game, though, with Pocket sometimes. Does often feel like whoever has the better opening hand just wins. It's not a lot of comeback potential. Certainly some things to work on from a competitive standpoint, I think, for the game. And I think they know that too. I think there was an interview with the head of like the competitive scene from TPCI, and they basically said, we have no plans for Pocket right now because it has balancing issues for the competitive scene. All right, that research finds us nothing useful. That means we have a lot of good things we can top deck, though. All right, we'll see if they get the double scratch off here. No damage. That's huge for us. All right, we top deck the coughing. That's huge because otherwise this Whooper was getting knocked out by a Weavile EX next turn, most likely. So we're going to X speed out of this Whooper. I think we actually are going to Sabrina up that Darkrai too. Suffocating Gas will do 20. Hopefully they don't have the Leaf or anything to retreat out of this Darkrai. Giant Cape come down onto the Darkrai. All right, so we've got the poison on the Darkrai. They could attach retreat. Obviously, they would do 20 to us with that attachment, and then 70 if they have the Weavile EX. And Iono here is actually pretty nice for us. The Kogas in hand were really good, but we want to find our Clodsire, and that's the first card that we top deck off of that Iono. That was a great Iono for us. Got Coughing and our second Wheezing as well. So we're in a very good spot. The only thing we wish we had from that previous hand was the Kogas. See if we see the retreat here. Nightmare Aura are going to do a 20 to the Wheezing. There's the Weavile EX. They just take the poison damage there. I kind of see what they're going for. They're going to Nightmare Aura, and then they can retreat, knock out with Weavile. Pokeball. That'll find us our other Paldean Whooper. I don't think we're going to bench that. I actually think we are pretty happy here. Let's see. Do you want to bench this Coughing? Attach return to the Clodsire. And then we'll just tackle here. See what they choose to do. Obviously, they have the attach. Nightmare Aura doing 20 to us. Retreat into the Weavile. Weavile doing 70 to take the knockout. I think they'll probably attach to their non-damaged Darkrai here. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Doing 20 to our Weezing. And Scratching Nails for the knockout. But we've got our second Weezing ready to go. If we top deck the Koga, wow, I think we just take the knockout here. Do we not? Do 120. We don't quite get the knockout, but we do enough. 20 with the Darkrai. And then we will Koga here. Put up the Clodsire. Bench Coughing. And then Venoshock for 120. Poison will do 130. And then they will be knocked out, passing back into our turn. Team Rocket Grunt was not something I was expecting. Tails. All right, that's nice. Didn't need that hit in heads right now. How many X speeds we got left? We got 1 X speed in deck. We'll be doing 70 here. So we actually have to retreat. Oh. They're choosing not to take the knockout. That's interesting. So I'm just going to retreat the Clodsire then. We got double Koga left in deck. A Pokeball, a Clodsire. No, we got 1 Koga left in deck. All right. We'll attach to the Clodsire and just get the poison here. And end our turn. Research from our opponent. Excuse me. Top deck of Koga would be super nice. We have no basics left in deck, I don't think, right? Yeah, so we're just going to hold that Pokeball. We've got Iono, Koga, and Clodsire left in deck. I think I just attach to Darkrai here. And then I will die to the Nightmare Aura. That was kind of why I was hoping to top deck a Koga there. We die to the Nightmare Aura. Then they're able to attack into something else. They definitely probably play Cyrus in here. So we got to be a little bit worried about that. We can't send up the Wooper, obviously, because they can just knock it out. So I think it's just sending up the Darkrai here. Then we'll retreat into the Clodsire. Sabrina. Yikes. All right, they're hitting into the Clodsire now. I don't think we can win from here. Because we can't retreat out of the Clodsire. Then they'll just take the knockout with the Weavile. Dang. Just a Venoshock for the knockout, but not quite enough. We did the Koga a turn earlier. All right, we're going to jump into a game 3, see if we can win one with the Clodsire deck. Otherwise, we're just going to say, not a good enough deck. Lost 2, we'll jump into a third, see how we can do. We're going second this game. Starting the Wooper. Clodsire in hand, research, giant cape. That's all great. We are weak to fighting, so we definitely want to get the cape down onto our Wooper. Because Hitmonchan would knock us out, I believe. Another Clodsire as the top deck. Research into research is always nice. Giant cape onto the Wooper. Poison jab will poison this Hitmonlee, which is great. Means we'll knock it out next turn with Clodsire. Then we have this guy to contend with. I assume they're going to attach return to that Marshadow. We've got Iono. I think I'll research and then maybe we Iono next turn. There's a Wheezing. There's the Darkrai. Alright, the Darkrai is nice to have drawn into here. I'm just going to attach. Do that 20 damage. And how much does this do? This does 40, so it'll do 60 to the Wooper. Okay, I think we're fine to end our turn there. Don't want to evolve into the Clodsire because we can't retreat out of it with the X speed. What we're going to do next turn is we're going to X speed and then Iono. Hope to find our Coughings, I think. And then retreat out of that Wooper. Curlia come down from our opponent. They're setting up that Gallade EX. See if they choose a Stretch Kick here. Nope, they're just going to attach to that Curlia. Alright, let's read this quick. If any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an attack during your opponent's last turn. Alright, they're going to be knocked out by poison, so that's not going to work. Which is really nice for us. X speed. Iono. All right, hoping to draw into Coughing here. All right, we drew into like the same hand we had before, so that's unfortunate. But damage from an attack, so we can knock it out with the Nightmare Aura. Then we have used the X speed already, so we can retreat out of this Wooper if we so choose. I think we will retreat into the Darkrai here. So we knock out this Marshadow with the Darkrai. We just need to find a Coughing. We got all of our Pokeballs and all of our Coughings there. We got a 50% chance of top decking away to get Coughing. Alrighty. Honestly, even better if we top deck our Sabrina here, though. Instead, it was just the Wooper. But yeah, I think we'll take the knockout. Well, yeah, it's just unfortunate we haven't been finding. I'm just going to take the gamble that they don't have the Glade EX in hand. That they're struggling as hard as we are to find our coughings as, you know, to find that Glade. Let's hope that's the case. Or we might be in trouble. Do they have the Glade? Attach return. Sabrina. Alright, you can have that Wooper. Alright, we just win here. That's really nice. And there's the concession. Alright, so we were able to win that game. We had to take a little bit of the gamble. Hope they didn't have the Glade EX. But they did not, and we were able to win. So, yeah, I think this deck is a lot of fun. It's not the strongest deck in the format, obviously, but if you like Clodsire, I mean, how can you hate Clodsire, right? So, seems like a fun deck. Encourage you to give it a shot. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of it. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.